Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, all, and welcome to today's installment of the Ish Plus 6 podcast, the podcast series where you could discover your next favorite artist. On today's episode, I am joined by Portland-based rapper JT Flowers. JT Flowers has been dropping music for a couple of years now, with his most recent album, Steel Rose, having some of his more popular tracks, such as track 4, East Side Number 2, and 6 Deep. With a lot more on the way, JT is definitely one of those artists to look out for in 2022. Please welcome JT Flowers to the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Ish Plus 6 podcast. I go by Ish, and today I'm joined by the one and only JT Flowers. Let's go. How's it going, man? How's it going, JT?
What's up? I'm chilling, bro. I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm living, man. I'm living. You know, we in the UK. Well, I'm in the UK. You're in Portland right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. I'm home. Yeah.
That's sick, man. That's sick. If you're ready to get into the interview, I'm ready to get into the interview. You've seen the show before. We always start off with a joke. Today's no different. Let's just get into it. Yesterday, I saw a guy spill all his Scrabble letters on the road. I asked him, what's the word on the street? It wasn't that funny, man. It's fine. But
I'll fuck with it. We gotta get the ish stand-up special, bro. We need it. That's the next stage, bro.
You always gotta see the funny in it. Oh, man. Okay, so you were living in the UK for a little while. How long were you living in the UK, by the way, before we get into the before we carry on?
I was in the UK for 3 years. Yeah.
3 years is a long time, actually. I thought it was only a couple of months.
No. I was out there, bro. It was I was in Oxford for 1 year, and then I was in London for the year 2 and 3.
Yeah. Year 2 and 3, yeah. So my question is, because you were living in America for a long time, for pretty much your whole life, if I'm not mistaken, beforehand. What was your biggest cultural shock when you moved to the UK?
Oh, but everything's different in the UK. Like, I think, like, and I was lucky enough when I was in college. I was on full financial aid, so I got to. When I was in college, I was saying I traveled all over the place because on the school's dime, I didn't have to pay for nothing. I went to a bunch of different countries, saw a bunch of different cultures. Never ever experienced more culture shock than the UK. Crazy. It's probably because the language is the same, but the culture is so different, man. Like, the music people listen to is different. It's way more international. The relationship to, like, America is way different. Like, especially in communities of color, like, there's like this overwhelming and really understandable resentment. Like, man, fuck y'all done fucked up and colonized that country. I'm like, nigga, the UK colonized your country. What the fuck? America wouldn't exist without the UK. These are all extensions of the same shit, but there's just this way different relationship to I was saying in like communities of color out there in the UK, like, way different relationship to America than we have with America here. That's not to say people of color in America are like, oh, America's the best place on earth, but it's just to say that it's just a different relationship by virtue of the way we arrived in the place that we at. You know, we didn't really have a choice. We were brought here, and we've been here for what, 400 plus years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So there's no real connection. We can't tell you, like, oh, I'm from exactly this place in Africa, and here's how to cook my food, and here's how to speak my language, and here's like my traditional dress, and like here's the ceremony that we do for this occasion. Like, we don't have none of that. We had to recreate all those things in the context that we were drug into against our will. So Black American culture and Black UK culture, like, whoa, way different things. That threw me. I think I was used to just, okay, I go anywhere, if there's Black people there, there's Black people there, and we're gonna vibe out. In the UK, niggas like, where you from? Like, I'm like, oh, America, I'd be like, no, but like, where are you from? Like, you can't tell me where you from. Like, it was just a way different experience. But I think that stuff spills over into the music, it spills over into the food, the culture, and that's what makes that country so vibrant, bro. Like, y'all have, it's really a melting pot in the truest sense. It's been like the most inspirational place I've ever been creatively, because there's so much being brought there, so much like richness being brought there from all over the world.
100%, man. I mean, to be fair, you will hear people in the UK, even people in the UK, say that the UK is bad vibes, which I'll be honest with you, there are some parts that are definitely, like London is just, it's, people in London are pretty miserable, I'll be honest with you. And
That's right. I love London though. London fire. London's like my favorite city ever, bro.
London's amazing, yeah, exactly. But like, you go on the London Underground and it's just everyone just looks so miserable. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's stuffy down there, bro. It's stuffy down there, for real.
Man, it's crazy. You have mentioned in your music, you know, that like there is one of your lines where she probably think I'm famous probably because I went to good school. If I'm not mistaken, that is the line. You well, you did spend some time in Oxford University, and of course Yale with a master's degree. But what led you down the path of music though? Because it seemed like you were all completely geared towards a career in politics, if I'm not mistaken. So what led you down the path of music?
Bro, I had to save myself, man. I felt like I looked up one day. I was working in a congressional office for my congressman, and I just had a couple of experiences in there that made me realize that shit was pointless. You know, I think oftentimes I had this line I like to say. You know, people often in public service mask their own ambition in the sheepskin of the common good. Another way of saying it is like, you know, people say that they're doing something for a particular reason, like for other people, but in reality, they're doing it so they can continue climbing up a ladder. And I realized that I was climbing up a ladder with no broader goal in sight that had anything to do with anybody outside of myself. But I made myself think that it was about somebody else. And that just didn't feel right. And it felt like there was no way for me to continue down that path and be true to who I am, be true to my community, and be true to the causes I care about. And I started thinking like, okay, well, where can I go where I can be whole? Because in politics, I can't look like this. I can't speak like this. My hair can't be like this. I can't have my tattoos out. I can't cuss. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that sphere is not built for somebody who comes from environments like the ones we come from. So I started asking myself, well, where can I be my whole self? And I hadn't ever really asked myself that since I was maybe a little kid. The first space I felt like that was basketball. I think the second space I ever felt like that was music. So I started waking up every day. I was like, I'm gonna allow myself to do whatever the hell I wanna do. One day I woke up, I was like, I wanna produce a beat, boom. Produce a little beat in the garage.
Just snowballed from there.
Snowball, bro. A few weeks later, I was like, I want to rap over this. Like, shit, that's embarrassing, bro. Come on, like, don't do some stupid shit like that. I was like, yo, I should just allow myself to do it. And I did, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, if I want to do this, let me throw myself into it and take it seriously. Yeah, and now we're here, bro. So it's been a long journey, but one that was critical for me, bro, because I don't like the path I was going down. It wasn't like a negative path, right? I wasn't causing nobody harm, but I was causing myself harm, you know, by not giving myself space to exist freely and authentically, bro. And that's like probably the most tragic things we can ever, one of the most tragic things we can ever do to ourselves as people. And I think I could better serve others if I'm true to myself. Yeah, so roundabout way of saying, bro, yeah.
I get you, man, honestly, like, because I know that, because honestly, you do sound completely different here to how you do in like some of your spoken word videos and stuff like that. And like the concept of a white voice is not something that a lot of people consider when, well, a lot of like the majority consider when they're going about their day-to-day life, you know, but it's something that we as people of color have to consider, you know what I'm saying? It's
I gotta think about it, bro. I think I learned how to code switch so well because shit, bro, it's funny. You could look up, I forget the actual search query. I'll send you this video and I'm gonna post it at some point. I'm gonna incorporate it into like a music video or like some type of rollout promo.
Yeah.
It's me when I was like 16, 17 years old being interviewed after a basketball game. And the way I speak, my accent is so like thick Portland, like West Coast accent, bro, I can't even do it anymore because I spent so much time in so many different places. I had this weird kind of hybrid accent.
Yeah.
But bro, it's weird. Seeing a video of me 17, the way I spoke, I'm like JT Flowers, like shooting guard, Lincoln High School. Like, that's how I talk, bro. And then I think this is a long story and I won't go into it, but the short end of it is I went from that was my whole existence, basketball. That's how I spoke. Anywhere I went, Ultimately, I ended up like gaining access to these spaces I never thought that I belonged in. And in those spaces, I was penalized for the way I spoke. I was penalized for not knowing words. I was penalized for like not structuring my sentences properly. Bro, I literally took time when I was like 17, 18 years old. I would go downstairs into the basement of my house, turn on the news and watch fucking Anderson Cooper on CNN, like, and try to recite the way he spoke, which is like very measured. He speaks like this and everything's very clear and he enunciates and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay, if I want to be respected in these spaces, I have to do this. It's crazy, it's sad thinking back on it, but that's how I felt at the time. I was like, oh shit, I gotta literally change the way I speak and exist in order to be accepted into this space. Otherwise, I'll be shut out of it and I'm gonna be stuck in my situation for the rest of my life. So yeah, bro, I completely like almost took on like a persona. And I think politics, like when I was working in politics, it was like the fullest manifestation of that persona. And the moment I just talked about where I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Was the moment I came home after I graduated from college from Yale, which is, you know, opposite end of the country for me.
Yeah.
And I was like back around people I grew up with. And they're like, nigga, why are you speaking like that? What are you doing?
I get you, man, honestly. Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you're you, nigga. Like, don't lose that. That's the most beautiful part about who you are, bro. Don't lose that for the sake of doing this thing. You know, it's great that you're doing the thing. We're proud of you, but make sure you don't lose touch with who you are. And that was also one of the things that made me be like, okay, this isn't the right space for me. I need some place where I can just be myself. You know, I don't have to put on an actor, put on a voice or nothing.
100%. Yeah, exactly. I mean, have you ever seen Sorry to Bother You? With Lakeith Stanfield. Man, you need to watch it because literally, okay, first of all, the second half of that film is chaotic. It's like something it was something that I'd have never guessed would have happened. But the first half, literally, it's all about the white voice and it's all about being a salesperson, talking down the phone, being like, hey man, so how do you feel about buying some of the catalogs? And you know, it's not like that. It's like, hey, so my name is Larry Bridges, and I'm calling you from like that kind of voice. You know what I'm saying? It's all about finding the right tone and all of that.
Crazy, bro. Like literally, when I started going to the politics, I started giving speeches and stuff. Bro, I will go watch. It's like acting, bro. And you know, some of the greatest politicians. I was gonna say greatest. Some of the most successful politicians, bro, have been actors. Ronald Reagan was an actor. Donald Trump, actor. Arnold Schwarzenegger, actor, bro. These are people who literally had no fucking idea what they were doing, caused so much harm to people, but they got elected because they knew how to play a role, bro. And when I realized that was the game, I watch a bunch of speeches of people that I like, and then I can learn how to speak like this, which is very inspirational and moving. And I learn how to, you know, like raise my voice at the right time and lower my voice at the right time. How to use silent, bro. It's like, what the fuck am I? I'm manipulating people, nigga. That's not tight. That's not tight. That's not something to be proud of.
Charisma comes into like it's more charisma than actual political knowledge if you think about it. As long as you're charismatic, then
that's right, bro. You don't have to have a politic. You don't have to have a philosophy of life. You don't have to have values that you live by. You have to be charming, and you have to be able to speak well. And speak to a variety of different people. So that voice don't do you no good if you can't go into an environment like the one we come from and speak to people the way you grew up speaking, right? Or the way you naturally speak when you're not like on a stage in front of a bunch of people. But that tells you everything, bro. If you can't be your same self across those different spaces, at some point, one of those spaces is not meant for you, bro. If it can't accept you as you are, and that don't mean that we should never change and never grow, but if a space judges you based off of the way you present rather than off of the substance of like what's coming out of your mouth or what's on your heart and what's on your head, what's on your mind, excuse me, like, bro, that space does not actually welcome you or accept you in any real way.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Moving on from that question, aside from what led you down the path of music, what's your main goal of making music? So, what
Mm.
ideas are you trying to push forward? And I guess that kind of sums up the question pretty well. What ideas are you trying to put forward, and what's the main goal of the music that you make?
I don't think there's a necessarily a goal to the music. I think the music is just like an escape for me. The music is just a place where I feel like I can be myself. And you could think of it almost like a little oasis in the middle of this chaotic ass world that we just been talking about with all the pressures and tension and pain that come with it. And there's also a lot of joy and beauty in this world, but music for me is an escape from all that. It's a place I could just retreat and almost in a therapeutic way, just reflect on whatever the fuck I'm feeling. Whether it's the most substantive, like deep, thoughtful thing, or the most vain, empty, like embarrassing, almost like shameful thing that somebody probably wouldn't want to admit that they thinking. That's what music is for me. It's like a diary of the good and the bad, like the substantive and the empty.
I get you, man. I mean, honestly, literally, you get like, I mean, I mentioned Kid Cudi before, but Kid Cudi is a glaring example of someone who just puts his
Yeah.
everything into music,
I couldn't
right
go there for
from
that reason. Yeah.
exactly right from Man on the Moon 1 with Day and Night and Pursuit of Happiness to his
Oh,
most recent album.
yeah.
It's crazy, and I mean, man, yeah, I don't know. I really admire Kid Cudi as an artist and as a writer as well.
100%. Cudi also was like one of the what do you call it? Like trailblazers, one of the people who really
Pioneered, is it?
behind it. Thank you. That's exactly the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
He's one of the he brought the indie world, the indie alternative world to the rap world, bro. I think better than anybody. Kid Cudi like represents like the marriage of those two worlds. And I think those two things are like the two kind of subcultures that I really feel like I sprung out of. Rap, obviously, because it's so intimately tethered to Black culture. And shit, at this point, American culture, but for a long time, just Black culture. And indie music, bro, because I'm from a little like hipster little town, bro. We're a very granola crunchy town where people listen to super obscure, random, ambient, psychedelic bands. You know what I mean? Like you get put on that stuff young, bro. Being in a place like this. So Cudi was really the marriage of those two worlds, bro. It was a place where I felt like it was okay to be weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Cudi's just like the guy showed up to a Kanye West listening party with what was that like raccoon thing that he
That shit
had
was
on his
fire.
head?
I don't know what that was. That little lumberjack, nigga, axe throwing vibe, bro. That shit was hard though. I need to
It was hard. It was hard. I'll be real. It was hard. Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Cool. So over the course of your recent album, congratulations on the recent album. But it was, I mean, I say recent, it was a couple of months ago, but
Thank you, bro.
yeah, congratulations on the album. Steel Rose. I've noticed a couple of recurring themes over the course of it, but I did want to hear it straight from yourself. What is the story behind the album aside from you finding it as an escape? What's the story behind the album itself?
Yeah, bro. That album is it's just a love story basically. It's like a dystopian love story. It's something that's sprung out of you know, being in a really bad personal space, kind of in the way I've been describing. All the stuff I've been describing was a lot of the tension that was going into me trying to figure out like, who the fuck am I? What the fuck do I want to do? What do I want to stand for? Do I want to stand for anything? Do I just want to revert back to these parts of myself that I either grew out of or learned how to, did I actually grow out of these things or did I just learn how to mask them? Like I'm asking myself all these questions. That's kind of the beginning of the album. And in the midst of that chaos, I meet somebody and that person just has such a kind of hold on my heart that it makes me have to consider all of those questions in a completely different light because it forces me to actually be vulnerable in a way I've never allowed myself to be. And I think that's what that project is about. It's about confronting vulnerability and ultimately giving into it and allowing yourself to fall into the beauty that is love. Uh, yeah, that's what it's about. It's just a love story, bro.
That's crazy, man. And I mean, there are two different characters who are mentioned on this album, Saleha and Sahbibi, if I'm not mistaken. So is there a link between the two of them, or is it? I mean, what? I'll let you do the talking.
They're the same person. No, they're the same person.
They're the same person.
They're the same person. So Saleha is Sahbibi. I just that's just a nickname I made up for her. Yeah, Sahbibi. Yeah. So yeah, they're the same exact person. But I think Saleha is like, you know, for instance, Saleha's interlude is like the fourth song, right? Sahbibi's song is at the end. It also represents intimacy you can only get to at the end of the story once you overcome the hurdle of like pushing that person away, keeping that person at a distance, not allowing yourself to be close to that person. Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's all it is, bro. The same person, just at two different stages in my own progression as a person who's trying to mature and accept what it means to actually be in love, which means to be vulnerable.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And I mean, I know that is Sahbibi, is it like an Arabic term, is it? Or because I think I've heard.
Bro, I don't know. I literally I don't know. I literally was just like, oh, cool, I'm gonna use this.
Okay.
Because I liked it. Yeah,
I know that.
Actually... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, I was gonna say, because I know that like Habibi or Habibti is like
Habibi.
Yeah, it's like an Arabic term, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. They just sounded similar. That's
fire. I never thought of it like that. Yeah, Habibi, Sahbibi. No, that's the same shit. Honestly, I just I don't know. I was just trying to come up with a nickname. I was like, oh, Sahbibi, that'd be tight. Because the first like syllable of her name, like Saleha. I just thought Bibi sounded nice. It's just a nice thing to say. And then when I put it together, she was like, oh, that's actually what we call my grandma.
Oh, that's crazy.
I was like, that's crazy. So there was like Sahbibi. It just worked, bro. So I just kept using it. That's still what I call it. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Those are weird coincidences in relationships. It just
Oh, bro, you never could have called it, but yeah, that's serendipity. That's what we call it.
Man, that's crazy. Okay, so this is just something that I want to clear up for myself, because whenever I am listening to this one track, this line always just, it has me perplexed, and
what the fuck did I say, bro? What the fuck did I say?
I've spent time pondering this line. Which I can't remember which track it's from, but you'll probably know which track just from the line, because it's such an iconic line. Smoking on lies, sipping on piss, I'm falling into abyss. Please explain to me what that means, Mr. Flowers, please.
Smoking on loud. It's smoking on loud. Like I'm
smoking on loud. Oh, bro.
I'm smoking on loud. It's more self-explanatory. Yeah, sipping on piss. It's just like what you could call like a 40, just any type of malt liquor, just beer that tastes nasty. You know what I mean? Sipping on piss. Like I'm falling into abyss. Like I'm falling into a hole, bro. Like a black hole, bro. I'm feeling shit, nigga. I'm feeling fucking depressed. Like I'm just coping with my shit in whatever way I know how, which is, you know, put one up in the air, sip a little something, and keep it pushing, you know?
It gets like, but what time was it when you wrote that line? Because it must have been like 3 a.m. or something.
Well, I had no idea. I was, it's funny because that song, I was trying to come up with a hook. Like the verses just came straight out. I just literally was just like, boom, put the verses on the song. I needed a hook. And I was like, I don't have nothing that's catchy. And then I had just said that. I was like just freestyling after I had recorded one of the verses. I was like, oh, that shit kind of fire. But I thought it was just gonna be a little bit that I ended the song with. And I just got lazy. I was like, fuck it, bro. Fuck it. I feel like I'm overthinking the song. Let me just copy paste that little bit that I like. I'm just gonna put it as a hook, bro.
Yeah.
It ended up working, bro. It ended up working. I love it though. Yeah, I love it for that reason. It just feels the most natural because it's the one bit that I really didn't put no type of thought into at all. It was just exactly how I was feeling. It was late at night. Yeah, for sure. Late at night.
Man, yeah, no, trust me. I've written some of my best work late at night, so I completely get it. I completely understand it.
I'm nocturnal in that same way.
Okay, so apart from that, so the album is 14 songs long, if I'm not mistaken. How, like, were there any songs that didn't make it onto the album? Because I know that there were a lot of artists who have been making some like Kanye recently dropped Donda Deluxe. That was like 36 songs or something ridiculous like that. Chris Brown's always dropping albums that have like 100 songs on them.
55 million song projects, bro. High key, yeah.
They're trying to get their
shit with that
streams
voice, nigga. I don't blame you, bro. I would just want to hear myself on repeat non-stop, nigga. I would want to hear myself for 100 songs straight too if I had Chris Brown voice. The fuck you mean?
Oh man, that's what I'm saying as well. Honestly, if I could sing, I would never stop. I would make sure that people, like both of my neighbors,
100%
all the time. Oh man. But yeah, were there any songs that didn't make it onto the album though?
Yeah, hella, bro. So many songs. I mean, so many. Yo, the one I really fucked up on though. There's this song. It's called "Kids These Days," bro. When I tell you it's not even a song, it's not even a song. It's a guitar like little interlude that my homie Andrew Hogan played. He did damn near all the guitar on Steel Rose. He's so talented. The project wouldn't exist without him. It's just this beautiful acoustic guitar. And then a couple of like airy background vocals. And then at the end of it, it said, we just some kids grew up in the wrong. And it was supposed to be the intro track before Bury My Heart.
Yeah.
But I cut it off of there because I was like, oh, people gonna skip over it, bro. It's my first project. Nobody fucks with my music, bro. When I tell you, nigga, if you're an emerging artist or you an artist that's like trying to get on, never make a decision like that. That's like the one thing I regret about Steel Rose, because I think that song changes the feel of the whole album. When you hear that first, it's so beautiful, and then it goes into darkness rather than dark from the outset.
Yeah.
It changes the way you experience the first half of the tape. But yeah, that song, bro, it should have been on the project. Literally 45 seconds. It wasn't even long, but I cut it off.
It's never too late to put it on there. I mean, like, Kanye was still changing his album weeks after it was dropped.
Yeah, that nigga signed to a major label. Kanye West. He could say, nigga, Spotify update my shit, boy. If I say update my shit, they're gonna be like, you losing all these streams, dog. This shit's coming down.
Really?
No,
so
that's serious. But it'll be hard. I'll have to re-upload it as like a new release.
Okay.
New song.
You can always do a deluxe version. You can always do that.
With the one little tweener on there. Yeah, there was a couple of joints still on there that didn't make it. But I feel like where I'm at now, my sound has progressed so far. It don't really feel like it makes as much sense to be putting out music. I should have done it like right off the bat.
100%.
That whole project came out late though. I had that project done a year before I put it out. And yeah, I feel like it would have been more impactful in the short term. I think in the long term, it's going to be a very impactful project. And I think people will consider it as like a really significant body of work. But it didn't have like the moment it should have had because I released it a year too late, because I was trying to get everything right and I was trying to like work with the right people and like let me get a video shot by this person. Oh, this person said they could plug me with this person. I'm gonna wait like a couple months to see if that materializes. None of this shit ever materialized, bro. You just like, the whole thing was DIY. I had to do everything myself pretty much on the like marketing, visual, creative side. Yeah. So another word of advice, bro. When you make some shit, just put that shit out. That's what I'm doing all this next year, bro. Anytime I make something, bro, it's going out the door. I'm not even holding on to it. I'm not trying to like make it like this precious little thing. It's just gonna be out into the world.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Like literally, I'm looking forward to hearing some stuff from you as well, some new stuff. So next excited. 2022, roll on, because you got that new JT Flowers coming out. But yeah, that leads me on to my next question. Actually, what is next for you? Is it more singles, or is it an album? Is it merchandise tour? What kind of stuff are you looking at right now?
Let me build up a little fan base. I think like it's cool. I've been able to get to the point where I got like, no matter, I don't release no type of music, and I have like, there's about 800 people consistently on Spotify that listen to my shit. That's crazy to me. Like the fact that there's that number of people who even know who I exist as an artist is crazy to me. And I'm like, I'm grateful for that. This next year though, I think I got the potential to be one of the coldest artists in this shit, period. Like any genre, I think I could be a complete artist. I think I could make songs that other people can't make. And I think that's true of every artist if they fully themselves, because nobody is like you. Nobody's like Ish. Nobody's like Tino. Like nobody's like me. So I'm like, this next year, all I'm doing, bro, is releasing music non-stop. Every few weeks, I'm coming out with a song. When I have enough songs that I feel like go together, boom, I'm just gonna drop it off as a little project. Keep moving, like shit. A couple months later, there'll be another project probably. I'm just trying to apply pressure because that's the one thing I've learned in this, bro. You can have all the music that you want and it could be brilliant, but if you the only one listening to it, you and your homies, like you keeping it to yourself, you nervous to put it out into the world because you think it's not perfect, it don't do you no good. People like to grow with you, not wait for you to grow and then see what you grow into. You know what I mean? That's why anime is the most popular genre show on the face of the earth. You grow with the protagonist. Imagine nigga Hunter x Hunter. They show you going at the beginning, you're like, oh, that nigga got some potential, bro. And then they fast forward to the end of the fucking ant arc. You'd be like, what the fuck, bro? I missed the whole journey. So this year is all about the journey for me. It's like the progression of the sound, and the sound has evolved like OD. So it's way better. The songs I'm making now is way better. I'm trying to keep that same kind of rawness, but with I just want them to kind of capture the attention a little bit better. I want them to be a little bit more creative in the way I'm using my voice. And then what I'm doing sonically, I just want it to feel a little bit more dynamic, like its own universe. So that's what I'm doing, bro. Yeah. New shit coming very soon though, and it's not gonna stop. Once it starts, it's not gonna stop.
That's what I'm looking forward to, man. And literally, consistency is the biggest key to growth. You know, like all growth is good growth, whether it's 10 people or whether it's 10,000 people. It's all
bro.
Good growth.
It can be one person, bro. One person that actually fucks with your music. One person that reaches out over ideas like, yo, your music actually means something to me, bro, and I really believe in you as an artist. That shit, I don't know if like fans realize that shit, bro. That shit means something, dog. Like when you reached out to me, it was like, yo, bro, I actually love your music. I was like, what, bro? I was like, there's a person that like my music that's not like one of my homies or something. Like that's crazy to me. I'm grateful to you, bro, and I'm grateful for anybody who would take the time to like reach out like that. That's what it's about, bro. It's building brick by brick. Because this, at the end of the day, the best. I think the artists that I respect most are the best community builders, bro. They pull people together. And you can't do that if you're so self-absorbed in your own music that like all you care about is your numbers or like whether there's people interested in signing you, it is that. It's like, bro, what the fuck is the point? My only goal is to make shit that's true to me. And it's an added bonus gift if that shit resonates with somebody else, bro. That's it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you get a lot of artists who just take themselves way too seriously and they're only focused on power and money and growth and stuff like that. But, you know, you need to take a look at the people around you as well, I think. But I do have one more question before I let you go on your way. I ask this question to everyone. It's the final question I ask everyone. You were heard by literally everyone on Earth, all almost 8 billion people on Earth right now for 10 seconds. What do you say?
Oh, shit. What do I say to people for 10 seconds? Shit, my 10 seconds probably up. Goddamn. I think if I had the ability or the opportunity to speak to everybody at once, all I would say is be true to yourself, be true to where you come from, be true to the people around you, and take the time every now and again to step outside of yourself and recognize that the complexity of your truth, that same level of complexity exists for every single person that you see walking by you on the street, yelling at you from their car when you honking at them, mad at you when you bump into them at the supermarket. Like, we all got our own little universes in our own heads, and mine is no more valuable than yours. Mine should not be respected any more than yours. And that goes for any person that we interact with. So I just say, take the time to not only be true to yourself, but to be true to your humanity by empathizing with others and always taking the time to think about what we can do for one another rather than what we can do for ourselves.
That's real, man. That's real, honestly. And that's the idea of Sonder, if I'm not mistaken, as well. The idea that everyone's the main character of their own story.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, 100%. I think that's a very true theme. And every now and again, you come across these like really rare, exceptional people who truly do think of themselves as secondary to the people in their lives. And I think those are the people I most admire. I don't think I'm that way. I'm not that way. I wish I could be that way. I'm not that way. And I'm trying to work to get myself there. But yeah, I think the world would be a much better place if those folk were the majority rather than us. I can't speak for you, rather than like, folk like me. You know what I mean?
To be fair, I'm trying not to be so self-absorbed as well. So
it don't even have to be self-absorption as much as it just is, bro. Like ego, bro. Ego gets in the way. It's useful, but I wouldn't be able to make the music I make if I don't have no type of ego.
Exactly.
But it wouldn't be the fuck would I? You would never talk no type of shit. You would never like be feeling yourself. You'd
like, never be bigging yourself up like, yeah, bro, my stuff slaps. What about it?
Yeah, 100%. You would never be thinking that or feeling that. So there is a place for ego, but when we talk about like the way we envision community don't flow from ego. Like peace don't flow from ego. Happiness, joy, fulfillment, none of them shits flow from ego, bro. They flow from selflessness, prioritizing other people.
Exactly, man. Yeah, I do think the world would be a better place if we all just prioritized each other over ourselves and just thought about how everyone else is feeling more than ourselves. I think
we'll get there. That's part of the mission, man. That's like what you do through your platform. Like regardless of the size, but you elevating people and their stories. That is like an act that fits perfectly into what we talking about. And that's what I'm trying to build out with this whole Die Hard universe, bro. That's really what it is. That's what Die Hard is. That's it. It's a community, bro. It's a family of people that together could be more than what any one of us could ever be individually. You know what I mean? A community that support one another, that lifts each other up, that believes in one another, that inspires one another creatively and otherwise. And shit, bro, like a community that like pushes everybody to be their most true, fulfilled selves. That's how
sounds like you're talking about the opposite of London, basically.
The opposite of high key, bro. Yeah, high key, but yeah, man, there's a place for it everywhere. We just gotta carve it out. You feel me?
I get you, man. I get you. And you know what? I do think that's a good place to close off this episode. But before the fans dip, listeners of the Ish+6 podcast, thank you for getting this far. Go stream JT's new album, Steel Rose. My personal favorite tracks are Lose My World and Six Deep. Keep it real. And yeah, JT, do you have anything that you'd like to say before we close off?
Nah, bro, I appreciate you, man, for just always being so supportive. Literally from day one, bro, when I started dropping music, you was really there, like, and you've been there ever since, like, in the comments, like, just like, yo, bro. That shit means so much to me, bro, for real. And I'm never gonna forget that, bro. It don't matter what happens. I could be the biggest artist on the face of the earth. I would never forget that shit. And you always got a place in my family and my life, bro. That's real.
I appreciate that so much, man. Honestly, it's been good. This has been a good interview as well. But yeah,
it's been fun, bro. It's been fun. Thank you to everybody who listened to took the time to listen or watch either or whatever, both. Y'all are also amazing, bro. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, let's get this shit, man.
Let's get it. All right, listeners of the Ish+6 podcast, keep it real, and I will see you all next time.